2008 to 2016 was arguably one of the best times for the Disney Cars Diecast line, and even though that takes up over half of it, and that would be 8 years, I believe, and the other would have been 2, plus another 4, so 6, yeah, 8 years to 6 years of years that were very good. The diecast line, that would be the 8. And in 2008, that's kind of when the line started picking up, releasing more and more unique characters instead of some of the ones that like had speaking lines. And then in 2009, we got a bunch of like pitties and all that. That's the start of the Holiday line. Then in 2010, we had the Final Lap collection where we got a whole bunch of cool background characters. And then you had Cars 2. We had the 2013 line, which had also a whole bunch of new characters, considering it was a new movie, of course. And then 2013 to about 2016 was a very good year, and I believe I've said this in quite a few of my other videos, but 2017 also could have made those 8 years if it had not been for Cars 3, where a whole lot of the cars that were supposed to be released were canceled early on in the year. We didn't even get a whole lot of new characters. We got like maybe we had like Fighting Face Mater, Vladimir Trunkov with Boot, and there was only one actual new character, and that was the Transberry Juice Cab, who was later revealed to be named CB after being re-released again in the 2019 line. But 2013, I would kind of say that it wasn't as superior as 2014, 2015, 2016 were. 2015, 2016, and of course 2014, which is the topic of today's video, in my opinion, were the best years for the diecast line. 2013 also being a close second, as well as 2010 and 2009. Cars 2 and Cars 3 line are kind of exempt from this sense. Obviously, they're all going to be new cars since they're all from a brand new movie. Now, we have, we're going to be taking a look at my top 10 personal favorite diecasts from those 3 years, 2014, 2015, 2016, and this is the first of those, being 2014. Now, in front of you here, these are not cars that are on my actual list. These are cars that I just happened to have out as I was getting some of the other cars for this video. I had to move them out of the way. And I just figured I'd put them here since they're also 2014 releases that I think are pretty solid. We have Jonathan Shiftco, who I think is maybe an honorable mention. Then you have Sean Crash, who's also a pretty unique, not unique, I'd say, also a pretty interesting release, although the fact that he is pretty much what's his name? It's Giuseppe Motorosi, Francesco's crew chief. It's basically him without any, all the Francesco decals and all that. So maybe another honorable mention could be like Lee Race, Tony Owen, cars such as Sachin Curry is 2015, so he wouldn't be in the 2014 list, and he's not on the 2015 list, I don't believe. But yeah, there's also cars such as like, I'm trying to think of other cars that were released in 2014 or were new for 2014. There's not a whole lot more that I can think of. About like Father Burke, I believe his name is, plus those like pitties. It was a pretty good year. These are somewhat honorable mentions, but they are not the focuses of today's video, and it is instead on the top 10 diecasts of that year. So number 10, I'm going to have to go with Alberto. Now, Alberto actually did replace Frank Lachenson. Frank Lachenson was on some of the 2014 Race Fan Series card backs, you can see here. And then he ended up being scrapped and was replaced by Alberto. And I'm not complaining about that. We got an entirely new character instead of a character that was already out in a multi-pack. Although that multi-pack was rare, he was pretty easy to find on eBay, and he still is. And then he was re-released in another super rare multi-pack a year later with Bruce Boxman. But yeah, Alberto, pretty cool. He's got a pretty unique model. I don't know if there's any other cars in the universe with this model. You have like Frank Lachenson, but I think Frank might be a slightly different model. Currently Carsware is a different model. They are very similar, however. You'll have the Fiat Panda, that would be Alex Carville, also a different model. And of course he has the Francesco flag, which I think is pretty cool. Now the reason he's number 10 is because he actually did recently get re-released as a Vietnam variant in a 5-pack, so that kind of takes away from him that he is no longer exclusive to that single year and all the other cars on this list have only been released in 2014. So that's number 10. Number 9, I'm going to have to go with Cora Copper. Cora Copper was originally canceled in 2010, and then in 2014 they decided to release her officially. I don't know if there was any like actual prototype pictures of her from 2010, but she's also a very, very nice model, similar to Darla Vanderson. I think Darla's a little bit smaller, and there's a lot of unique models on the Cars universe, this being one of them, and Cora Copper basically made it so that if we were able to make customs, if you wanted to make customs of cars with that model, you could take this model, and I know that did happen. That actually happened recently with Grant and Greenlight from Jim and Scavenger. She is a interesting model, of course. Got the interesting model, kind of like a bronze color, and as I have mentioned in some of my previous videos, and I think I mentioned it in one of JS Cars 8's most recent videos that I was in, it's about why he doesn't want a car store, and I see my reasons why I actually did, and it's kind of about the reporters and the background characters and all that. So you should go give a video that video a watch. And Cora is another one of those reasons. A very unique character who appeared in the original Cars movie at the LA 500, I believe. Number 10. We have these guys, Kimberly Rims and Corrine Cavi. This is Kimberly on the right and Corrine on the left. Now Corrine is kind of another Giuseppe Moderosi repaint. Giuseppe was released at least once in like 2012, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure on that, but if not, he was released in either 2014, 2013, or around 2015. I believe he came out before that though. So yeah, another Giuseppe Moderosi repaint, although she's actually different, and we'll talk about that in a second. And really unique compared to other cars such as Sean Crash, who are basically the same color. The best part about her is the glasses on top, and she also has this kind of deep green color, which I think is really nice. Kimberly Rims here is a Miata, I believe. She has kind of a light gray color. Oh wow, she's beat up. Wow. That's not what you think it is, I promise. I wouldn't do that. But wow, I've never seen this rear side. It's like almost rust or something. That is weird. I don't know. I might have to get another one. Once again, I promise you it's not what you think it is, because I would never do that, I swear. But yeah, you can see her eyes under there, which is pretty hard to see due to her massive, like, hat. It's like a big old sun hat with like a feather. And the feather is also kind of like a wheel, which I think looks really interesting. I think it might be due to something maybe getting on. You can see like the brown on that part as well. It's like forming around where all the holes are on her. So you can see it even a little bit up front. So I'm not sure what's going on with her. Pretty interesting release. I think I like Corrine over her, but yeah, once again, I promise you, I did not do that to Kimberly Rims. And I should mention that that 2-pack is a kind of like a, I don't know, I'm including the 2-pack cars together just because I don't want to have them separately. And I mean, this is only including the main line. It only has the deluxes, the 2-packs, and the singles. This is not counting cars that are released in multi-packs of any kind. But through that, we're on to number 7 now, I believe. That has to be Jessica GM Patrol and Nate Stanchion, who released another 2-pack in 2014. Now they appear in that scene on the Motorado show in a photograph for a few seconds. I think Jessica here is a pretty unique diecast. She was one of the first to be released with the that model. You have like what's his name, Alex Machino, as well as Adam Park, who also used this model, but I believe that she was actually the first one to use this model, apart from some of the Disney Store cars, the Disney Store waitress that they released from the Disney Store, of course, and you have like Shelley Shift and Daniela Muffler, who do not count since they were canceled, and they would have been 2012 in the Cars 2 line. She also has the mask, kind of like, I don't even know, like a glasses of some sort front, as well as the raising up of the tube. You have the little thing grasping the tube as well, which I think is a pretty unique part of this diecast, as well as the interesting expression, which does match the movie pretty closely. And Nate here is also a pretty cool diecast. He's a Mini Cooper, as well with glasses and a pencil, which I think is a pretty cool thing. You can even see the eraser on the side right there. The goggles, also pretty nice. I do kind of downplay him since I have a Mary Revsk, and she's almost the exact same looking as this guy in terms of color, top roof, even the eye shade. Amira has kind of like a dark gray. This he has like kind of a, not dark gray, a lighter gray, but this is kind of like a brownish gray something. And then you have the clipboard as well, which doesn't have anything that's actually like readable. As well, maybe it's in like a different language that I don't understand, but to me it just sort of looks like a bunch of scribbles. The next one, I think I'm going to have to go with Alfredo at number 6. Alfredo, you had this model appear plenty of times in the movie. If it was not this model, it was a similar one, a Mercedes, which I know appeared a couple times. And you have a bunch of ambulance logos, maybe ambulance on the front there. Looks really cool with all like the Italian text, which matches the scene where he appeared. You even have the big little license plate, and I think it's great that I released this fan model, so customs also wouldn't be impossible, even if it wouldn't be the exact model. As I said, most of the models in Cars 3 that do use this similar model are actually Mercedes vehicles and not Iveco models. Very cool diecast. Coming in at number 5, I'm about to be halfway now. So it'll be 4, 3, 2, yeah, 5. I'm going to have to say Nelson Blind Spot. Now, similar to Cora Copper, Nelson was actually canceled in 2010, and then he was officially released in 2014. Now, he has this nice metallic green color. He has an expression that sort of matches the movie. I really like the headset as well. Kind of like droops down for some reason. I'm a big fan of all the reporters, even when they have headsets. Like these type of guys, all the guys with the big old cameras, have to be some of my favorite releases from the line. There's only 2 of them: Choke Cables and Nelson Blind Spot. But in my opinion, we need more of them. We need Turtle and Cubby, who are actual cars that appeared in the movie, and you can even see the names on the cameras that confirm that they are named Turtle and Cubby. Number 4, let's say, I want to say Trike Filming. Now, a lot of these cars have, like, removable pieces. Like, you have you have Nate Stanton with the pad, like the notebook, the note sheet, what's it called, like, card something. You have Nelson with the camera. You have not Kimberly, it's, what's his name? It's Cora Copper. She has a camera. We have 2 of the 3 remaining cars also have not removable but accessories, and this guy is no exception. That part slides right off because in the single packaging he was a Super Chase that would not have fit apparently, so it came as a separate piece in the packaging, similar to like Stu scatter shields, and then you just kind of, if we can do it with one hand here, we can get it in there, and that's not right. Yeah, there we go. Boom, it's in now. He's like a red Sal Macchiani repaint, and he has all the Francesco kind of memorabilia, as well as a few American flags, which I'm not sure why he has, considering all of the other pieces of memorabilia he has are all Francesco related. You have the big F flag, you have a mini Francesco, you have the good Francesco spoiler, you have a few red and green balls, and then you have some blue, it's like a toolbox back there. Not exactly sure what that's supposed to be. Number 3, I'm going to have to go with the other Super Chase, and that is Karateka. the first to use the Vic Vanley model. Should be called the Karateka model. He's the OG. He's just a kind of pearl white car. He has a nice expression. I like his expression. It's really cool. His AKA bandana kind of goes across the back. He has a nice license plate as well. And he has some kind of karate, I believe they call it, logo on his side. He also have a nice little pattern or design or something around the kind of headband. He also has a spoiler, which I think looks pretty cool. I believe that Karateka is actually supposed to be like a car. Like not a car, a kid car. Which would make sense since in the scene where he appears, it's all like kids coming out of the apparently karate class. So I'm assuming that he's supposed to be a little kid, which would kind of not make sense of the theories that like cars get bigger as they age. Because I mean, Corrigan wide track is smaller, but I don't really know. Moving on to the final two, both have accessories. At number 2. We have Henri Matisse. Now, Henry here, a very nice shade of blue, almost like a periwinkle. He has like an artist hat as well as a kind of paintbrush, which you can move around a little bit. I'm not sure if it's supposed to do that. Hopefully it's supposed to. It also has a pretty cool expression with like the blinking eyes, like a winking eye, as well as like a smirk on his face. Also, he's the classic Citroen model that you see quite a bit in Paris. And I think that's a nice addition that they made for the movie, as well as his actual, what's it called? I know the word. It's like canvas, where he was painting Ludwig, no, not Ludwig, Ludwig and Gertrude, I believe it's called. You have the canvas as well as the kind of stand that the canvas is supposed to be on. Love that guy. And number 1 on my list is quite a simple car, yet it's also one of my favorites. I don't know why. Number 1 of the 2014 list, in my opinion, is Magen Carrara. Now, Magen isn't, I don't know. He is an interesting release. He is a Porsche, which I believe he's one of the only Porsches we've gotten apart from, what's his name? Her name's Sally. He has an angry expression. The expression looks really nice. And I just love the Porsche, the deep red, the expression, everything about him. It's just a really cool release. And he also came with this big accessory, which is a board, which in the movie he actually did run over. So it's nice that they included that. In my opinion, again, it's the number 1 car of 2014, at least for me. You can have your own opinions. You can put them in the comment section below. But that is going to do it for today for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Happy 4th of July, and bye.